an email yesterday morning. So we have decided to forego intros for YouTube because I'm too lazy to go on afterwards and edit it myself. But this is what happens. YouTube's going to miss the first 5 minutes of the show, but it's all right. No harm, no foul. So yeah, we'll get into the sport that I swear I'm not going to cover the NHL, but we had a crazy comeback last night. We'll get in a little footy talk, Crystal Palace, Man City game, and then a little FA Cup preview. And then we'll wrap things up on the show with a trip to China, the Spencer Pratt TMZ drama. I live in the East Coast now, so I'm so far removed. Like, California might as well be another country. So I understood who he was, understood what was going on, but this was my first time diving into it. So, we'll learn about this one together. We'll make a call, and then we'll get a little update on the Zohran the Zohan. But yeah, we had a great fucking show today, guys. We're really flowing nice and smooth, and we're gonna kick things off at the top of the show with there we go. Did that work? Did I go where I want to go? That worked. Cool. So we're going to kick things off with the AP and Swatch collab. We put AP Megan Rich dudes regret spending 50,000 speckled dudes on their Swatch collab. And well, for those that don't know, AP is a very expensive watch, upwards of, I think they start around 40,000, not dollars, $40,000. And they can go upwards of 200 grand, 300 grand plus. I'm sure there's probably like $1 million AP out there. Oh shit, hold on. I just realized my chat isn't. Yeah, we good now. We good. Chat's good now. I'm sure there's someone out there that has like $1 million AP watch or some shit. They exist, but as you can imagine, the Swatch is a kind of low end watch company, to say the least. They're not like low end. They're middle tier. It's like kind of what you would buy your 16-year-old for his birthday, and it's like, he takes it on a date with his girlfriend where they like hold hands and like, make out in the movie theater for 3 hours straight or some shit, So that's what a Swatch is. So obviously, big price difference. Let's see what the nice newsman has to say.
The industry is making a comeback on the strength of something called a Swatch.
It's a new spin on a blast from the past with a big luxury brand upgrade. High-end Swiss watchmaker Audemars.
Whoever's editing that video, that was such a nice, clean transition. I know that's like ADD thoughts, but to go from like old school Swatch to
It's a new spin on a blast.
Like, this is the new stuff right here now.
From the past,
good shit.
With a big luxury brand upgrade. High-end Swiss watchmaker Audemars Piguet is teaming up with 80s watch icon Swatch for a new line of collectible timepieces called Royal Pop. And pop, they do. 8 different models in bright, bold colors set to go on sale only in select Swatch stores starting Saturday. That is still days away, but already fans are lining up.
Luxury watch releases don't usually include people lining up for days waiting to get a chance to buy one, but that's what we have here. It's something way more similar to a sneaker drop or even something very Gen Z like the Labubu.
I've been here since May 11th.
That's several days straight to be here, so you seem like you better get that watch, right?
Man, I better get that watch.
What if these guys just spent, and instead of all this time just like waiting around for a fucking watch, what if they like actually went and did something? That's all I would say. Like, I get there's the whole scalping industry and people make money off of fucking buying Jordans and reselling them on the fucking internet. But man, you're just sitting waiting around for a fucking watch. Like, you can only buy one, by the way. I don't know if this guy knows this. Maybe somebody needs to let him know. It's one watch per person, per transaction, per day. So it's not like you can go in there and buy the whole store and then go charge $1,000 for them. So look, I just think this is funny. I think it's a horrible, horrible move by AP. I think it's an incredible move by Swatch because everybody and their mother is talking about Swatch now. But here's the good news. Here is the good news. What was I gonna say? Here's the good news. You can go to Europe and buy one of these $500 watches, and you can go to Europe and don't have to worry about getting fucking stabbed. So that's nice. That's a positive. You no longer have to buy a fake watch to seem like you have a little bit of money. So that also is a positive. But net overall, I think this is crazy that AP is even doing this. It's when you're a luxury brand like Audemars Piguet and you've developed the brand recognition to charge people the naming of their firstborn child to get a watch, and then you go and this is like Porsche fucking collaborating with Honda Civic or like a Toyota Camry, like the Toyota Camry 911 edition. Like that is what we're talking about here. Like that's what we're dealing with. So it's I wanted to start the show with it because the drop is over the weekend. I think it's wild that people are lining up to be the first one to get one of these things. I mean, I will say, here's what else. They are fly as fuck. I mean, look at these fucking things. $500.
Stores starting Saturday.
Now they're not actual watches, but they're like little pocket watches. But that's even cooler. Like I saw someone on the internet. They think that Swatch also did like a collab with Omega, and it's Omega's another brand, not as high end. The watches for Omega, it's like I think they cap out around $5 or $6 grand. So when you talk about Swatch and them doing a deal, that kind of makes a bit more sense than AP. Like it's wild to me. I mean, and there are $40,000 watches that look just like this. $200,000 watches that look just like this. So, I mean, biggest winner out of this, Swatch. Good for you guys. You guys fucking steal of the century. And then the biggest losers, easily AP, and then any of my friends that have purchased AP themselves, because there's no way this increases the value of a AP. So I mean, tell me where I'm wrong. I have some watches. I've spent money on things that I probably shouldn't have. But when it comes to an AP, it kind of was like a real status symbol. Like you saw somebody with an AP on. I'm pretty sure Hublot built their entire business off of looking like an AP, and that's like a $10,000 watch. So you have this like incredible brand recognition. At least this is how it is in America, and I'm sure it is in other populations too. But you have this incredible brand recognition, and you just go and shit all over it by doing a collab with Swatch. Like, wake me up when the 911 Camry comes out, because this is where we're headed. That's where we're headed.
That is still days away, but already
that's where we're headed. All right, let's get to our next topic. That's right. I am ready. Look at that. Anybody that's been watching the last few episodes, I have been so slow with getting my transitions done. Not today, motherfuckers. Not today. So kicking off the show with, I had a nice little 5-minute spiel about how I'm not going to cover hockey and I'm not a hockey guy. No one wants to hear a guy cover hockey that doesn't know about hockey. But then cool shit just keeps happening in hockey. Like the guy took a puck to the face. And then last night, the Avalanche were down 3-0. I mean, they're up 3-1 in the series. So, once you start, they always say like 2-0 is the worst lead in sports because you get comfortable and then the other team scores a goal and now they're down 1 and you're kind of on your heels. Well, amplify that times 1,000 if you are in a 3-1 deficit and the series is on the line. So Minnesota goes up 3-0 in this game, and then the Avalanche eventually come back winning 4-3. And if you watched Tuesday's episode, you saw me do a breakdown on Nate McKinnon And this motherfucker scores with a minute 41 left. Let's get a better feature on this. Oops. Sorry about that. That was wrong button. But I'm trying to get a better feature on this. We got one of our animators working on a better featured content scene, so that should be coming next week or the week after.
Work back out for a blast by Burns, missed the net. Puck in the corner, McKinnon. Back behind for Landeskog. Out to the point.
Now, I'm not much of a hockey guy, but even I know this shot's fucking insane.
Here's McKinnon shooting one. He scores! He scores!
Let's bring that back. Is that on? Can you guys get that on camera? I mean, top left corner. And for those that do remember, this is the same guy. So this was the Team USA game, USA versus Canada. And, you know, let's just say that this man probably still thinks about this when he goes to bed at night. But this was the game that US beat Canada and in the in the Olympics this past summer, or this past winter, I guess. The fucking months all blend together these days. But goes on, you know, ties the game with minute 40 left in the game, empty net in the third period, and then comes down to this right here. The defeat, the absolute defeat on this goalkeeper. You could tell. You gotta feel for the guy. It's so tough. It's so tough to be reeling like that. But it didn't seem like the Wild had much of a chance anyways, being down 3-1 in the series. And from what I understand, again, not a hockey guy, but the Avalanche are quite the Avalanche, to say the least. So, you know, great end of the game. Good way to start the back page, in my opinion. But let's get into some NBA talk, some of the fun stuff. All right. Last night we had a incredible game for anybody that stayed up. Or shit, no, it wasn't even staying up. That's just me being a bitch and falling asleep at fucking 9 o'clock because I'm getting old. But we had an incredible game yesterday. Final score was 117-113. Cleveland goes up 3-2 in the series. Few notes here. Mr. Wet-Ass Strucy kept the Cavs in this game. This game felt like it was actually over. I started writing my notes last night in a voice of Detroit winning, and then, well, let's give a little Strucy boy some credit. Man would just went absolutely nuclear. It wasn't really nuclear. He only scored 20 points, but damn it, I think he was 6 or 7 from 3. He hit every fucking 3 that mattered. I just want you to look at the score every time he hits one of these.
They still haven't cleaned up these turnovers. That's 6 already in the first quarter. Struce wide open.
It's 2 in a row. They're down. They're down again. They're down 12 here. It's 3 that they're down. Down again. They're down 11 here. He just kept them in it, man. Down 4 here. Just big bucket after big bucket. Look at this. 3 minutes and 46 seconds left in the game. This is what I mean where I was writing the game as Detroit had won it. And, well, I'll say my next note here is fucking Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley didn't realize this game was going on until the last 2 minutes of the game because they didn't contribute at all until then. But again, Strucy. And then this steal right here, this sealed the game. that steal, like, look, OT, they're down. Detroit's down 5, and this is a 4-point swing minimum. And then Donovan comes and lays down. This is a 7-point game now. 2.5 minutes left, and it was over at that point. So MVP of the game was Strus, in my opinion. The guy just balled out. We had wet-ass Strusy. That's what we call him. Wet-ass Strusy. I'll tell you what, though. James, he had such a bad first 2 games. Everybody was talking shit about him on the internet, telling him how, you know, they don't make much money in the playoffs, so he doesn't want to work anymore. And, you know, to be fair, it kind of looked like that. It really did. I mean, you could watch the first 2 games, and the motherfucker was not doing shit. He was not doing shit. So the last few games, it's been a lot different. Just vintage Harden, man. Just step backs, using his hands well, getting calls.
That is a tough communication for the defense.
Just hitting bucket after bucket. I mean, this looks like Rockets Harden. I'm going to say it. Put it on Twitter. I'll say it again. I think Detroit might be in trouble because I think our boy James may have found himself a nice little gentleman's club. And, you know, James loves himself a little gentleman's club. And if he found somebody he likes in Detroit, even if it gets to 7, it's over. Actually, I'll tell you what. I've never seen James Harden play well in a game 7 before, so I take that back. I take that fully back. Cleveland, you need to get it done in game 6. Got to get it done in game 6. So, what was I? This is just me searching for Donovan Mitchell. God damn it. All right. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I don't know why that didn't load this properly, but we'll load it for you guys. See? This is why we do what we do. So, end the regulation. We had a bit of controversy here. And I'll just let the clip play.
2.5 remaining. Now a chance to win it at the buzzer. Mitchell guarded by
Tied 103. You can't see the score.
Mobley sets the screen. Mitchell can't get away. 6 seconds remaining. Mitchell on the drive.
I mean, listen, I'm not in NBA. You see this happen a lot. Why aren't guys popping at the elbow anymore? Like, KD mastered this. Shea has mastered this. Why do people keep getting super far downhill and then get their shit swatted by somebody that's twice the size of them? Like, you have a sore on your hip. Just stop and pop. He's either going to foul you or you make the shot. Like, I know, listen, I'm a 6'1" fucking white dude sitting behind a computer screen. I get it. This guy gets paid to do this for a living. But I see it a lot. I see a lot, especially late game situations. And that's one thing I actually think Paulo does really well, is since he's such a great triple threat, that you want the ball in his hand to end the game, because he's always going to be able to get a shot. I mean, I guess he just probably thought he beat a sore. But this isn't even the controversy. I'm just picking apart Donovan's fucking end game sequence here. But he knew he was there. He grabbed him. All right. So, anyways, that's not what I'm trying to talk about. Asor blocks his shit right here. Jared Allen, clearly there's time. 1.6 left on the clock. Trips Thompson. Trickles out of bounds. No call. And Detroit did not have their timeout left. Sorry, not timeout. Actually, I don't think they had timeouts left either. But even still, I don't think they had their challenge. And so there was no way to challenge and see for the proximate foul. So to some degree, you know, there's people online saying that they got fucked here. Right? He steps on his foot. But look, this is just 2 guys going for the fucking ball. Do people really want to watch free throws to win a game? I know I don't. So, yeah, is this a foul by a letter of the law? Yeah, of course. Of course it is. But also, like, as far as grabbing, you can see he's grabbing Jared Allen there, right? And then again, we're not, like, we bitch enough about free throws. We're We're not gonna sit here and fucking watch free throws in the game. Please, listen. We don't want to watch game-winning free throws. So anybody that's actually online complaining about it, look, the game was not decided by that play. The game was decided by Detroit, one, turning the ball over a fuck ton. They were turning the ball over like no other. And another big thing is, well, I guess, like I said, I wrote a lot of these notes with the idea that I thought Detroit was going to win. But the other big thing here is B-ball Poly D is just straight up better than Duren. Like, this is your all-star, should be first or second team, all NBA. Rumored to, we talked about it on the last episode, rumored to have 200 million plus in the offseason, to say the least, right? So, and you got your bench player coming in and just outperforming them. Full stop. I mean, B-Ball Paul had 12 and 8 last night, and Jalen Duren had 9 and 5, but Jalen Duren didn't even play like the fourth quarter at all. Detroit benched him. Biggerstaff benched him. So I think Detroit, like I talked about it last episode, Detroit's got an issue on their hands, man. They're gonna have to pay both Asar and Jalen, and neither of those motherfuckers can shoot. Asar Thompson looks like, both the Thompson brothers look like their fucking basketball hoop was on a driveway, because both these motherfuckers can jump out the gym like they were playing on an 11-foot hoop their whole life, but both of them shoot like they were playing on a slanted driveway their whole life. It's crazy that neither of these motherfuckers can shoot. They're both so goddamn athletic. They could be one of the best players in the league if they could shoot the goddamn rock. And for some reason they can't. And there's whatever reason, you just can't learn it. You can become a better shooter, but you cannot become a good shooter. It's the weirdest thing in the world. There's certain guys, but at the same time, then you got Andre Drummond coming out here and chucking up threes and doing fucking well. So maybe you can. Maybe you can. Who am I to say? Last couple notes on here. Tobias Harris had 13 points, but they were probably the most important 13 points that I've ever seen in my life. It felt like every time, similar to wet-ass Strucy, every time that Cleveland went on a run, it felt like Tobias Harris hit like a huge three. Detroit won on the boards, I think, right? Yeah, here's your boards. Or never mind, they did not win on the boards. I thought they did. They won on the O boards, but they couldn't get a board when it mattered most. So I mean, this game goes back to Cleveland. There's no basketball game tonight, which I think is criminal by the NBA. I mean, we have the NFL schedule released, but Jesus, like, who the fuck cares? Like, I mean, yes, sure, I'm going to talk about the NFL slate on Thanksgiving slate later in this episode, but Wemby should be playing tonight. Like, we should have something. And I guess they weren't expecting 2 sweeps. So, all right, fair enough. And then last thing I'll say is Denise Jenkins, that motherfucker. Every good playoff team needs some dude like that, some little scrappy motherfucker that just gets in people's faces and takes it to the hoop and, looks like he's happy, but then he's pissed off. And big fan of that man. So next game is Friday. We've seen the Pistons with their back against the wall before. I never hit next in the fucking thing, but whatever. We've seen them against the Magic with their back against the wall. I will say, no, I wouldn't be much of a Magic fan if I didn't think Cleveland would beat the Magic. If I didn't think the Magic would beat Cleveland, because I do think we would have. But I will say Kenny Atkinson's a much better coach than Jamal Mosley. And they figured something out. Like, Evan Mobley is outplaying these bigs. And he's, going back to the Jalen Duren thing, I compared him to DeAndre Jordan, the Lob City Clippers. But the reality is, like, that's kind of, if you can't shoot, and all you can do is defend and catch lobs, then you are, unfortunately, DeAndre Jordan. And I think Detroit will make a huge mistake if they pay this man $200 million. I will say that. So next game's Friday. We got back in Cleveland, Quicken Loans Arena. It's a hell of a stadium, and the crowd gets wild there. What the fuck I know? I don't know. I don't know shit because I said that Detroit already won the series last time. But I'm gonna go back on what I said and we're gonna say Cleveland's gonna close this shit out because if it goes to Game 7, I don't think Harden shows up for Game 7s. So I don't know. But let's get to the next topic. We got the Wolves versus the Spurs. This was a Wednesday night game, 126-97. Listen, we did a full video on how we are the #1 anti-Wemby podcast. And I'm here to tell you that it was a rough night. It was a rough night for the anti-Wemby podcast homies. Wemby absolutely dominated with 27 points and 17 rebounds. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm trying to do something real quick, guys. Make sure this loads properly. There we go. Sorry about that. Sorry. Back to the regular scheduled programming. So, we shit all over Wemby. We said he's too tall to be good. Everybody glazes his nuts, and he plays for a team called the Spurs, and I'm an Arsenal fan, so I'm naturally gonna zig when everybody's zagging. And we're gonna hate on Wemby. We're gonna nitpick, and we're gonna do what we can. But let me tell you, there ain't much nitpicking to do on this guy. Jesus Christ, 27 and 17. Absolutely dominated. He made Gobert look like a fucking idiot, which is his French counterpart. You think he'd have some decency.
Oh my goodness. Look at the fake with his left hand. It's like he was going to shoot it and then dropped off.
I didn't even realize this the first time, but Gobert actually does a full-on 360. This is like some Steph Curry in the playoffs type shit against Utah.
Oh my goodness. Look at the fake with his left hand. It's like he was going to shoot it and then dropped off the beautiful.
You could not be more lost.
Oh my goodness. Look at the fake with his left hand.
Jesus, come on. Rudy. I mean, you're fighting the good fight over here. Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it.
Fox worked inside, hits Wembanyama trying three again. Wembanyama from the outside, ball in his hands a lot. To the basket in game 3. As Wembanyama has the ball a lot and is doing a lot. Pitches it. Castle right back to him. Feeling it. Connector. Important little stuff that matters. Harper on the miss. Wemby put it back in and one.
It's not even fair. Not even fair.
What did I say?
Not even fair. He should have been kicked out. He should have been suspended for the whole season. I can't even say it with a straight face. The guy's good, damn it. I fucking hate it. But we're gonna stick to it. We're gonna stick to it. But I will say, watching this series, I officially want either Mike Condory or Sean Sweeney. Give me one of those motherfuckers, because this is like, look, I've talked enough about Jamal Mosley. I've talked enough about the coaching and the magic and all that fun stuff. You can clearly see there is a big difference in the coaching pedigree, or not even pedigree, that's not the right word. The coaching ability in this series specifically. And so give me Mike Nor, give me Sean Sweeney. I get it. These guys aren't the most, I guess, attractive names, right? They don't fit the bill. But what does a NBA coach look like these days anyways, right? Long gone are the days of the Phil Jacksons and the Popoviches that are just like old school guys. Like, all these dudes look like a fucking gym teacher at an academy for, like Montverde Academy or some shit. This is all it is. Like, these guys all look the same. So give me the whiz kid nerd from the San Antonio Spurs organization that, it is going to be tough to get Paulo's respect. But I think if somebody's smart enough, that they should be able to win it right away. So But and the last thing on this game, Dylan Harper, Jesus, man. I mean,
Foul, by the way.
this is a rookie.
As his fifth for Spur with 5. Harper. No.
Like the Wolves weren't really in this game, but they weren't in this game.
For Spur with 5. Harper. No.
And the worst part is, look at this. Ant's in the fucking game still. So maybe I'm not right about Finch, but Spurs went on a run to start this fourth, so I get why they had him in. But Dylan Harper, you know, shout out you, man, because you're hooping out here. You are hooping. So I will say I think this goes 7. You know, obviously they're gonna go back to Minnesota. I wish the game was tonight. That'd be nice, but it's on Friday night, and I do think that the San Antonio Spurs get it done actually on Friday night. And I do think that the NBA is very excited at the idea of Shea versus Wemby. This is their version of Toronto versus LA. Like, for real, it is. Because you're getting the Canadians and Shea, and you're getting the French fans and Wemby. So you're getting a giant international audience. Then on top of that, you're getting the Knicks, which is, you know, New York's team, the Mecca, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, and gambling is at its all-time peak high. You're going to see if it's a Knicks, so Knicks Thunder or Knicks Spurs, a Knicks Spurs final will do absolute numbies. So don't be shocked if Shea's whistle disappears in the Western Conference Finals. That's all I'll say. Now, the Thunder, I've said it multiple times. I'll say it again. This team is unbeatable. They're going to win the championship. But if Wemby can do 11 blocks a game and 6 of those blocks are fouls and they're not calling them, there's not much. And then Shea is doing his little push off and they just all of a sudden start calling him on that. You know, it's there. The potential is there. You know the NBA, you know this is what they want. So, anyways, I do think final call on both of these. I think both teams get it done. I would like to see both teams get it done. Let's move on to the West and the East Finals. Like, let's kick off Sunday, right? Or I think it would kick off Sunday. I think it'd be Sunday, Monday would be my guess. Maybe Tuesday to kick it off. Usually they alternate nights, so I don't actually know off the top of my head. But I will say, let's get it done. Let's get it done. Come on. I want to see the conference finals because I'm kind of over this round. I really am. And I'm sure Ant will probably go drop 45 points and push it to game 7, and I'll go fucking glaze his nuts. But until then, let's just move it along. Let's move it along. All right, let's move into the next topic. We got some stuff that I didn't load properly. Oopsie poopsie. Happens to the best of us. We have the NFL schedule release is tonight. For some reason, this is a big thing. I don't know why, but it is a big thing in our world. But I will tell you what, fuck your family because they're not needed come Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving Eve, we're kicking off with Packers, Rams. And then you got my Bears versus the Lions to kick off Thanksgiving Day, followed by Cowboys, Eagles. I don't know why I said Packers. Fuck the Packers. That's a bit of a rent-free situation, actually. They're not even on this list. I can't even. Oh, yeah, I just said Packers. No, they are on this list. They're on Thanksgiving Eve. What am I talking about? And then to round out the night, you have Chiefs, Bills, which, when does Patrick Mahomes come back? That's a good question. There's no way they'd book this without him. Targeting return for game 1. All right. So he'll probably play like game 3. So, that's going to be a hell of a fucking game. And then Broncos, Steelers on Black Friday. I mean, I really from 8 o'clock Eastern until 3 o'clock or till 5 o'clock Eastern on Friday, from 8 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday till Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern, I will be parked in front of my TV, fucking talking shit on Twitter, doing the damn thing. If this is the NFL, shout out the NFL, man. Now, please answer my wishes and give me a Miami-Chicago game in December. I would love a late year. I do not want the Bears going and playing in Miami early in the season. It is just hell. And on top of that, I'm not going to go to a game early in the season because it is hell. Now, if it's in December in Miami, that is beautiful. And I will happily sit my happy ass in that parking lot, tailgate all day, drink about 17 fucking Michelob Ultras, and yell at the refs. That is what I plan to do. Please give me a December game. That's all I ask for. God dang it. That's all I ask for. On top of that, additional NFL news, we have some running backs that just got absolutely paid. Breece Hall, I don't know if you can see this that well. Zoom in a little bit there. 3-year, $43.5 million deal, $29 million guaranteed in the first 2 years. Breece Hall had a crazy ass injury, right? And this guy, I just love to see running backs get paid, because for a really long time, really good running backs were not getting paid at all. So you got $43.5 million, $29 million guaranteed, $5 million signing bonus out the door, $5 million roster bonus due Friday, $5.16 million base for 2026, and then it escalates through there, $340K per game. Shout out Breece Hall. Shout out the Jets organization for doing this kid right. And then the Dolphins dropped $68 million and 4 years on Devin Achane, which I drafted Le'Veon Moss in my Dynasty League, and nobody actually cares, but I saw this news, and I was like, fuck. It's because I thought, Devin Achane, he's a hard-nosed runner. He's fast as goddamn hell, and I thought maybe he would get a concussion or two, and, a name like Le'Veon Moss, come on. That's 2 incredible NFL players put together. You got Le'Veon Bell and Randy Moss, made a kid, Le'Veon Moss. How could that guy not be a good running back? That was my thoughts. But this is what happens when you do your fucking dynasty draft before any of the nerds can tell you what to do. So you're drafting on vibes. That's basically what I was doing. Drafting on vibes. All right, let's get in some footy talk. We had a big game yesterday. Big game in the Prem yesterday. We had Man City hosting Crystal Palace. We spoke about it on Tuesday afternoon. If you're a City fan, you enjoyed this game, I'm sure. If you're an Arsenal fan, you're a bit annoyed. If you're a casual observer, yeah, I guess you're probably pretty annoyed. Or not really. I don't know. I think there's some good goals in this game, but to start things off, we had Pep rotating out the lineup. So we actually spoke about this. Like, Rodri was back in practice last Saturday, and obviously he's probably one of the best midfielders in the world. We talked about the loss percentage is 33% for when they play without Rodri. And so they rolled out a pretty interesting lineup. No Holland, no Cherokee, no Rodri. Phil Foden got the start for the first time in what felt like I don't know, he probably started early in the season. I'm sure there's a City fan that could tell me that, but he hasn't played much this year. And boy, did he play, though, I'll tell you that much. He had one of the most filthy assists that I've seen in a while. I will say Phil is one of the he is an incredible attacking center mid. And he has moments like this where you think he could be one of the best players in the world. But for some reason, in Pep's squad, he's, other than, he had a couple seasons where obviously he was one player of the year and whatnot, and, those championship seasons. But lately, he's been struggling to break into the squad. He's always kind of struggled to break into the England squad. But then you get stuff like this. It's absolutely beautiful. See Semenyo running in slow motion, but so Philly had 2 assists. Marmoush had a goal, Semenyo had a goal, and Savinho all had goals. It was 3-0, but this game felt a lot closer. I know I like FotMob because they give you the momentum, and so you can see this is the Semenyo goal, but right before, about twice, once in the 2nd minute, there was an offside. Crystal Palace scored. They were just offsides, about a hair of a nutsack. And then they almost scored again in the 14th minute. Donnarumma with an incredible save. And then from there, it was all Man City. So this is kind of how City play, though. It's a little weird where they, for the first 15 minutes of the game, it does feel like they're very vulnerable. Then they kind of settle into to the City selves that they are. Pep starts fucking chugging from his water bottle, and the next thing you know, they start playing good. What is something about that water bottle that Pep, like whenever you see Pep grab his water bottle and start chugging it, City's not doing well. But look out, because in that Everton game, I'm not sure how many times I got to see Pep chugging his fucking water bottle. But Semenyo kept them in it. Sorry, not Semenyo. Jeremy Doku kept them in it. And honestly, Doku, ever since Trent Arnold-Alexander talked shit about him, that guy has been on a fucking level, on another level. So credit to him. He's there's another good little touch by Philly. This is his 2nd assist. I don't actually think he was trying to. This just ended up being Tyreek Mitchell with bad defense, honestly. Yeah. I mean, he's trying to bring it down, but ends up landing in Marmoush. So coming up this weekend, we got the... Oops, I didn't put it in my lineup. Oopsie poopsie. We chug along, we chug on. So this weekend, we got the FA Cup final. We also got some big Prem games. Honestly, I could talk about Arsenal against Burnley, and maybe we do a little Sunday morning recap, and we'll go live before the games, and we'll talk about them. But we're going to talk about the FA Cup here. So for those that don't know, FA Cup is the oldest competition in the world. It started in 1871 with just 15 teams. The first final ended against the Wanderers versus the Royal Engineers at the Kennington Oval. Guys, it's almost 200 years ago. It's crazy. Man City are in their 4th consecutive final, the first team to ever do that, which, hey, if you're a City fan, you might have mixed feelings about this season, especially if you don't come back against Arsenal, and Arsenal do win their first championship in 20 years. But at the end of the day, you got 2 chances at a motherfucking title, not a title, at a trophy. So I guess it can't really be that bad. And you're in your 4th consecutive FA Cup final. Not too bad. The first time Chelsea and City have ever met in the FA Cup final. And City, like I said, they rested their midfield, so they're kind of ready. And you're looking at Chelsea's form. They've just been getting their ass kicked. So Chelsea probably have some of the worst form in the league compared to the rest of the teams, right? So can't believe Arsenal lost both of those games back to back. That's so tough. So tough. Should be over. But should be a nice little game. FA Cup, 10 a.m. Saturday. we'll do a recap on it next week. If City win, they will have won their second trophy, and they're still in the running for a treble, which, all things considered, for what this season has become for them, I think that's a bit of a win, to say the least. I did see that Pep was like filming something at their stadium with all their trophies. So it does, every summer there seems to be a rumor about Pep leaving, but it does actually kind of feel real. So, we'll see what they actually look like in the future. Obviously they got a lot of money and they spend a lot of money, so I think they'll be fine, just like any of these other big clubs that go through rebuild. Same thing, it's fun to talk shit on Tottenham and everything, but, at the end of the day, sure, Kane and Son carried them for all those years, and that's why they're so dominant, but they are a big club and they do have a lot of money. So, you could put me back there and the team would end up still being halfway fucking decent. So, and I'm not talking about on the pitch, I'm just saying in the management. So it's just a money sport. So if you're a top 6 team, Tottenham, don't worry, you're probably not getting relegated. You're probably going to spend some money in the offseason and it'll be all right. Some big news hit for Arsenal. Arsenal, Benny White is out for the season. Fabrizio Romano posted this on May 12th. And, we talked about the game, the West Ham game last episode, and Benny White obviously going out was a big part of it. You're probably going to have Mascara step up in the meantime. Thankfully, it does seem...
Bit of breaking news to bring you on Sky Sports FC. We're hearing that Arsenal defender Ben White will not require surgery on his injured knee. So good news for the Arsenal fans. Still a big knee injury, no timescale.
So an MCL injury for Benny White, and he will be out for the season, but thankfully he's avoiding surgery. So, maybe good news for England. I know the right back position for England specifically is a bit of a question mark. Benny White, for the longest time, for people that don't know, just did not want to play for the England national team. He's kind of joked about how he just plays footy because it's his job, not something he loves. And so you don't get paid to play for the England national team. But him and Gareth Southgate didn't really get along very well. And so it seems like Tuchel, the new coach for the England national team, and Benny have started to develop some chemistry. And so he's been coming and playing with the England team. And so hopefully Benny can get well enough for the World Cup. I wouldn't count on it though. But some other good news coming out of this sounds like Duren Timber, the Dutch national, that is the starting right back for Arsenal typically, who Ben White was subbing in for, who honestly is probably the best right back in the world, if you ask me. Yeah, no, like straight up, he actually is. He is back on the turf, back on the grass, and so that's nice to see. He's definitely not gonna play in the Burnley game, won't play in the Palace game. I don't think Palace is even gonna field a team for that game. They might just forfeit, hopefully, just give us the cup. I'm actually hoping if Bournemouth can just get me a draw against City next week, and we don't have to worry about some Palace bullshit, some 13-year-olds trying to beat us to take the cup from us, that'd be fucking awesome. But it would be equally better, just as good as Timber being back, because I don't know if you've seen the wings with PSG, but they're very fast. I don't think Mascara is going to be able to keep up with these motherfuckers. So we really do need Timber back. Now, when they were celebrating the getting to the finals, they did the whole, ooh, they all jumped together. Well, Timber ran with everybody and didn't jump. So take with that what you will. Obviously, the final's a month later, so there's time between then and now, and between now and then. But not the most positive sign, to say the least. That said, Mascara is a really good ad. It was probably the most underrated ad from the summer signings, maybe other than Hincapié. Hincapié has just played incredibly well, even though he's kind of been left out the last few lineups. But that man is a warrior. That man is a warrior. But anyways, let's get into everybody's least favorite major, the PGA Championship. Oops. So we had Big Dom from the Philadelphia Eagles give an introduction. I haven't even watched this yet, but you know, it started to go viral. I was like, you know what, fuck it. When we talk about the PGA Championship, let's kick it off. Let's talk about it. Let's let Dom give us the intro.
How much is Philly figured in the history of America? And golf? I am at liberty to say, and that says everything. My town has seen it all. Huge moments made possible by men determined to set a new course or tame an old one. Philly demands respect for all it stands for and everything it's seen. Inside stately buildings and on tricky fairways and greens, here where independence was declared, we the people are united by love of country, city, and this week, the PGA Championship.
Big Dom representing the people.
You know, I expected him, you know, I haven't really heard Big Dom talk too much. For some reason, I just expected way more Italian. I don't know why. He was a little nervous to do a little VO work. But
how much is Philly figured in the history of America?
I mean, I guess he does kind of sound like a Philly guy that owns a sandwich shop or some shit. So maybe it's not all so bad. But yeah, we got the least important PGA Championship major this weekend. It kind of caught me off guard, to be honest. I didn't really realize that the PGA Championship was coming up so quickly. It's the first time back at Aranamink. Listen, if there's one thing that will be constant with this show, it is going to be me mispronouncing words. So, first time back in 64 years, since 1962, where Gary Player, as a 26-year-old, won the PGA Championship. Just a little fucking trivia for you. We have some exciting storylines coming into it. Shefty's trying to do his back-to-back. Obviously, Rory chasing his third PGA Championship, coming hot off of the Masters win. When we were first starting this show, I was doing practice episodes, and I actually, in that episode on Thursday before Rory teed off, I wish I'd put the episode live. I had said, I think Rory's going to go back-to-back. Monkey's off his back. I will say, I heard he's got a bit of a toe problem. I can't imagine. There's probably nothing worse other than finger problems and, like, in terms of stuff that you can play through, but will definitely make you not play to your best ability. A really bad blister on your hand is one of them. And then some type of foot issue. Like, and these guys gotta walk. That's the thing. Like, I'm popping in golf courses. It's not like me and you going and golfing and we're cracking a few fucking Coronas and hopping in a golf cart and smoking a Snoop Dogg or something. No, these guys they got somebody to carry their bag, but they gotta walk the course all 4 days. And, you know, you got a little blisty boo on your foot. That shit ain't gonna work. It's not gonna go well, but we'll give you some little tee shots. It's, you know, I'll probably hop on and go watch the end of the first round after this. Since I'm one for one in my majors predictions, I did a little teeny weeny bit of research here. And I was gonna pick Cam Young because he's on fire. Everybody seems to think that he's going to be one of the first ones to get it done, especially because this is, again, they haven't played here in 60 years, so odds are a lot of these guys have probably only played this course once or twice. So it's not a lot of familiarity where, like, you know, Rory going into the Masters at Augusta, this guy, he was playing it every day for the last, like, 6 months. So the guy had it dialed in. He knew exactly what he was doing. I really want my boy Ludwig to get one just because hits the fuck out of the ball, honestly. And there's nothing better than watching some dude just... The best thing about him is he tees the ball up, puts his club up to it, and swings. There's no, like, let me check this angle, let me do this, and my shoulder here, my arm open, gotta give blood. No, none of that shit. He just drops the club, hits that fucking thing. And I appreciate somebody that works with such velocity. But you know, every time that I want to pick Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele always wins. And I'm always like, oh shit, look, Scotty. Oh, that's not Scotty actually. So I'm gonna go Xander Schauffele. I think it's gonna happen again. I was gonna say Scotty. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going Xander. And you know, when I started this show, I think he was, or when I wrote these notes, I think he was just teeing off. So let's get an updated leaderboard. Okay, he's 2 under. So not so bad. There we go. What about Scotty? Scotty's 1 over. Suck a dick, Scotty. Suck a dick. Any other big names? Where's Rory? Uh-oh. Where's Rory? There he is. Tie for 121st at +4. Ooh. When you're right, you're right. Telling you, little toesies, you can't play through that shit. You can play through it. You can go out with your boys, have a little fun, but you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win. So consider that done. And another one was Spieth, right? Because he's trying to complete the Grand Slam. He's been trying to do this for fucking ever. Is he even playing? He's 14th. Hell yeah. Shout out Spiethy boy. So we got a fun weekend ahead of PGA Championship sports. So we're gonna try something new here. We are going to look, because I keep does that work? Let's see. Nah, there. You know what? Let's try here. Let me do this. Growing pains. Okay, that's a little better. Hell yeah, that works. So we're gonna do, you know, I want to talk about a lot of stuff here, and you know, I'm trying to keep it pretty concise to like a 2-hour podcast around there. Frontpage or Backpage sports should kind of wrap up around here, in my opinion. But you know, in the Backpage, I want to keep it like an entertainment news line in there, because they all kind of intersect every once in a while. So entertainment news update coming at you fast. We got QB season 3 coming out on Netflix this year. Is going to feature Jaden Daniels. For some reason, it's a picture of Patrick Mahomes, but that's AI for you. Joe Flacco, Baker Mayfield, and Cam Ward will be the featured athletes. Madonna, Shakira, and BTS will be headlining the World Cup halftime show, which that is checking a whole lot of boxes of international audience. I will say that much, because if you're bringing in the K-pop fans to shake their booties with the Shakira fans and dance the night away with Madonna fans, that's a hell of a trifecta. So I'm all for it. That's all I'll say. But they're apparently doing it on the field, which is, you know, we're in America, we're kind of used to that shit. We're like, listen, that's what we do at halftime shows. We fuck the field up, and if your favorite quarterback fumbles the football and doesn't dive after it, Cam Newton, then you have to suck a dick and you have to deal with it for the rest of your life and realize that, you know, Shakira was the reason why you lost your Super Bowl. But I digress. I'm all for it, and I really, really hope England's in the final, and I really hope it doesn't impact them in any negative fashion, or even better, I hope it positively impacts them. I would love to see Mbappe slip and like fumble the ball in the midfield or something, and then we go on and score it super easily. That would be awesome. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Will Ferrell will be releasing a new golf comedy called The Hawk on July 16th. Personally, I am a huge Will Ferrell fan. I grew up on Will Ferrell Step Brothers. Has been probably one of my favorite movies for forever. So, I mean, I'm excited for this. Netflix is throwing a bunch of money everywhere. You know, you had the roast of Kevin Hart a handful of nights ago on Sunday night, which doing that on Mother's Day with a dude that cheated on his wife, it's a bold move. That's all I can say. What are we doing? What are we doing? JD Vance collab and Jake Paul are going to be streaming together. Yes, that's a real sentence. Trump left JD Vance when they went to China, and so he's streaming with collab. I don't know why AI thought clavicular was just the opposite version of JD Vance, but you got a picture of what JD Vance would look like as a streamer down there. And then Drake drops his new album tomorrow. Hold on. We got some bullshit motherfucker in the chat. Log this user. Done. Get on out of here. So, and then, yeah, we got Drake dropping his album tomorrow, which, like I said, white guys everywhere will rejoice. They will finally have Instagram captions that they can put out there. I'm sure there will be also some for the ladies to passively aggressively post on their Instagram story and or Snapchat story with a song in the background about how a man isn't treating her the way that she should be treated. So that'll be some good cannon fodder for the vibes, to say the least. But yeah, I'm a Drake fan. I'm wearing the members only shirt. So listen, us Drake fans, we had a rough couple years there. We really did. You know, I didn't put it this way. I did not post my Spotify Unwrapped last year because, well, like I said, we took some L's. We took some L's as some Drake fans. But good thing is Kendrick is lazy as shit, and he doesn't produce music really ever unless Drake pisses him off. So you could either count on this being this will be probably a really great album and probably like the album of the summer or whatever. And then hopefully he pisses off Kendrick or somebody, and then we get some other great music out of that too. And, you know, I'll willingly take the L as a Drake fan to get more great music, because we haven't really had good music in the hip hop world in like forever. So that's what I'll say on that. And here's, you know, followed up on the collab. Yeah, this is a real fucking thing. Like, actually, they're going to be on kick.com. And yeah, here you go. Little got them making out with the grok right there. Un minuto. I should really put my watch on DND. So we got some fun entertainment news coming down the pipeline. If this ends up being something good, that we'll keep doing it, and we'll try and bang through it pretty quickly. And then to wrap up the Backpage, we got one for the fellas. The SI swimsuit issue has arrived. You know, when I was 12 years old, 13 years old, I'm pretty sure like Carmen Electra like made me feel things that I had never felt before. So when it comes to the swimsuit edition, it is definitely, well, it's not what it used to be. I'll say that. And you could blame that on OnlyFans. It was probably OnlyFans' fault. Or you can blame that on, I don't know, I think they had like a year where they like try to do like all bigger chicks. That didn't really work out very well. But you know, we're calling this segment for the fellas. Every once in a while, there's going to be something that I think we got to let it run for the fellas. So here you go.
Sports Illustrated 2026, baby. Sharing dreams.
We're going to bring the sunshine, baby. We are the sun.
Oh, my God! I'm not waiting for somebody else to be that representation. I'm going to be that representation.
SI swimsuit is just so iconic. It's so beautiful. Like, it's so empowering. I love seeing the women on it.
There's so much energy from the crew and everybody on set.
Everybody's here to just have a good time, make incredible pictures.
It's so free, it's so creative.
Like, everything about this is not real.
You got yourself a Sports Illustrated swimsuit 2026 cover.
I've never shot anywhere like this ever.
This magazine is
There's enough of that. I'll let you guys do your own research on it. But in case you're wondering who is on it this year, Hillary Duff and Alex Earl, two big ones, making the most names. I think you just saw there. Alex Earl got the cover of the edition. Tiffany Haddish is also going to be in there. Nicole Williams, Nafisa Collier, Sophie Cunningham. I saw some things going around about Sophie, but we're, not trying to get too many people in trouble on YouTube and whatnot. Melissa Jefferson Wooden is another one that's on there. And so, yeah, listen, fellas, I'm designing this for the fellas. There's nothing too funny to really talk about here, so we're gonna keep it moving. All right, let's move on to the front page. We're already on the front page. Let me try this again. There we go. So we are, oh shit, I'm in the wrong spot. There we go. So moving on into the front page, we've had a great show. The back page,